This broadcast is brought to you by Scenic Productions LLC and fueled by the following.
Flicka's Tax Service. With tax season just around the corner, visit Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville, Mississippi, providing expert knowledge on all returns from 1040EZs to corporations as well as payroll. Flicka's Tax Service. Call 601-785-6900. Southeastern Baptist College, empowering students to reach their spiritual, academic, and athletic potential. Discover the difference at your hometown college. Southeastern Baptist College, equipping the saints.
Having AC issues? Does your vehicle no longer drive like new? Head on over to Keys Automotive in Laurel. Keys Automotive specializes in repairing foreign and domestic vehicles. Keys Automotive, located at 623 Arco Lane in Laurel, or call Charles Keys at 601-649-0517. And hello, Tiger fans. Thank you for logging on to this Week 9 episode of NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions LLC and powered by Keys Automotive Services and Southeastern Baptist College in Laurel and Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville. I'm the voice of the Northeast Jones Tigers, Kensley Keys, broadcasting live from Walker's Dairy Bar. And joining me as usual is Coach Robinson, and alongside him is his assistant, Kelvin Smith. Coach Kelvin Smith. Well, how's it going, Coach Robinson?
Oh, it's doing good. Always great to be on the show and here at Walker's.
All right. Coach Smith, it's a pleasure to finally have you on the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you letting me be here.
Looking
forward to it.
No problem. Well, let's go ahead and tip things off, starting with you, Coach Robinson. Well, now that the season is a wrap, the Tigers finished 7-20 overall, 3-7 in division, and made it to the first round of the playoffs, losing to Forest County. So give us your takeaways from that game.
Forest County is, high scoring, quick tempo offensive team, and I thought we battled with them. Kind of the biggest turning point in that game was we got the second foul on their best player, and oh man, he's a really good player, but he got his second foul, and their second best player needed a breather, and we were down 7 at the time, so it was a time to make a really good run, but they stretched the lead over there. They were a quality team. They won their district championship, and they earned that home court advantage, and it was a great atmosphere. But we just a couple plays here and there. Shooters got hot. They went on a good little run to stretch that open, and we just couldn't climb back into it like we had most of the year.
I definitely understand that. Now, it's always heartbreaking to deal with elimination in the playoffs, but to be hit with it in the opening round is another thing. So, talk about the attitude, the demeanor of the team, and talk about your locker room speech to the players after the game.
Well, emotions really high, and some bring tears to their eyes that wasn't expected, and then some that you kind of expect to be sad didn't. So. Kind of emotional roller coaster, but you always just want to tie in what they learn from sports continues over into life, and the life lessons about hard work, being prepared every day, doing what you need to do. Of course, we thank the seniors. Joel wasn't able to play that night, but we thank Jalen Hudson for grinding and doing what he did all year. And, you just always want to keep it together as a family throughout the end of the season and prepare for next year.
You're definitely right. And you mentioned Jalen Hudson, who's to me one of the most emotional players on the team, and just to he playing his heart out on the court that night. It kind of broke my heart to see him walk off the court for the last time as a Tiger. But that's part of it. It happens at every level. Even when you get to the professional level, just comes that point where it's just time to hang it up. But hats off to all the seniors. They did a great job. I'm going to miss seeing them play, even on the football field. I'm going to miss seeing them play. But they're very good kids. They had a very good squad, and wish Godspeed to them moving forward. Well, Coach, this was your first season as the Tigers head coach, so give us your overall thoughts about the season.
I knew we'd be a young team coming in with only 2 seniors, and Coach Stafford told me we probably lost 90% of the offense, the scoring from the previous year with 5 or 6 kids that moved on. But we get some sophomores that come in. They're expecting to continue over what they did from 9th grade and playing just against 9th graders. Now all of a sudden they're playing seniors. So they kind of took a little step back there at the beginning once they had to adjust to varsity schedule, had to put some confidence in them. I mean, even the senior Jalen Hudson, you know, he didn't play that much as a junior. Jawad did, of course, but, you know, we just had a lot of experience and growing pains early and kept grinding through it. And, of course, we play a tough district schedule, a tough non-district schedule, as most of them are still playing here, heading into March. But, yeah, we just had the growing pains and, you know, it's a tough district schedule. All three teams made a deep run, and two of them are still playing. But, you know, next year we look to bounce back.
I definitely understand that, Coach. Now you're only losing two players to graduation in guard Jalen Hudson and forward Jawad Jones. Now those are some big time players. So you know it's not that many players, but I mean when you look at who the players are, it's kind of a big deal. But on the bright side, you're returning three starters in Kensley Frazier, Davion Jefferson, and Preacher, along with other experienced players. So do you feel that puts you and the Tigers in a better situation for next season?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think I'd say we'll at least be 80% of our scoring that's returning. And, this off season, we get a spring with them. We'll get a full summer with them. And that's when you really develop your offensive game. But, yeah, we'll have a lot of experience coming back. You know, A.J. Young off the bench, Brantley McMillan, Cody Hyatt came on great offensively toward the end of the year. Justin Ulmer will return. And, you know, hopefully develop some more depth after that.
Yeah, okay, that's the players that you named off the bench. Even I mean, there's a lot of talent right there. So I mean, to be honest, Coach, I mean, it really shouldn't be a drop off in talent as most teams, you know, experience after so long. They graduate a lot of kids, but I mean, you have a lot of young kids who have a lot of experience. So that's always a really good thing. Well, all right. Well, it's great hearing your insight, Coach. Well, we're going to take a time out, and when we return, we're going to hear from the other man responsible for the stuff behind the magic, Assistant Coach Kelvin Smith. So stay tuned to NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC. This broadcast is brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and fueled by the following.
Flicka's Tax Service. With tax season just around the corner, visit Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville, Mississippi, providing expert knowledge on all returns from 1040EZs to corporations as well as payroll. Flicka's Tax Service. Call 601-785-6900. Southeastern Baptist College, empowering students to reach their spiritual, academic, and athletic potential. Discover the difference at your hometown college. Southeastern Baptist College, equipping the saints.
Having AC issues? Does your vehicle no longer drive like new? Head on over to Keys Automotive in Laurel. Keys Automotive specializes in repairing foreign and domestic vehicles. Keys Automotive, located at 623 Arco Lane in Laurel, or call Charles Keys at 601-649-0517. Fueled by our sponsors, Keys Automotive Services, Southeastern Baptist College in Laurel, and Flicka's Tax Services. Well, before the break, we talked with head coach Keith Robinson, and now we turn our attention to assistant coach Kelvin Smith. Well, Coach, welcome to NEJ Tiger Talk. Before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners and tell, where you're from, your coaching history, playing background, all the 411 that all our listeners you think they'd like to know about you.
Well, I appreciate everything you do. Appreciate you doing this and letting me be here today. I'm originally from Jones County, but I'm kind of been around the block, I felt like, getting on up there in years. And my coaching experience, I started out at Warren Central in Vicksburg and went from there to head coaching job in Neshoba Central, where I actually coached against, both Coach Robinsons. Kyle when he was a player and his dad when he was a coach. That was a great rivalry. And then went from there to Olive Branch, and then had the opportunity to go to Pascagoula for 5 years, where I coached with Keith, and that was some fun times. We had a good run there, and then we both left there, and I moved back home and been in Jones County ever since. And Kyle, of course, got the Northeast Jones job this year, and asked me if I'd come help, and I jumped at it. Now, it's a little different going to the black and gold, but I have thoroughly enjoyed it and being back in it. So.
Wow. So okay. So you guys already knew each other. Okay. Well, that definitely makes things a lot easier. Absolutely. So that's good that you guys were able to, reconnect past. All right. Well, Coach Smith, now that the season is wrapped up, give your thoughts about the season as a whole.
Well, I want to say this first. I don't know how Kyle feels about it, but as a coach, to me, being the first year to school, whether it's a good year, bad year, good season, bad season, it's always hard to say goodbye to the seniors. You always wish you would have one more year with them, And so we only had 1 year with Jalen and Jawai. We're gonna miss them dearly. I feel like Jalen was probably our top 3-point shooter on the team. I feel like Jawai was probably our most energized player on the team, and I use that word a lot. So that those two players have got to be replaced. It was good that we only had 2 seniors, which means we got a lot of experience coming back. And I thought toward the end of the season the light bulb was kind of going off as far as our system and vocabulary and what we wanted to put in. I thought they were starting to buy in and sense what we kind of wanted to do with them. And so we got, a large majority of that coming back. So the spring and the summer just makes it, that more important going into next season.
All right. I definitely understand that. It puts you in a better position knowing you have the, pretty much the same starters coming back. There's always some guys that you have to replace, but it's not that many. So that definitely puts you guys in a good position. And Coach Smith, as I asked Coach Robinson earlier, considering the talent you guys have returning, what excites you about next season?
Well, we're in a tough division. The Cards are in our favor next year as far, we get to host our division tournament next year. And, we've got, again, large majority of our players coming back. We've got some good youth, younger ones coming up. And it's all about work ethic and what they do during the off season. Again, we can't emphasize this spring and this summer enough. But I'm excited about next year. I think we got a really good shot of having a really good year next year.
I definitely understand that. And, Coach Smith, this is, just kind of a random question, but one thing that I can say about you and Coach Robinson is I really admire how you guys really coach together. And I'm not sure of ages or anything like that, but sometimes when you have the coach that's younger than you have one that's older, usually there's kind of like a conflict, should I say. But when I see you guys coach together and the relationship I see that you guys have with the players, that's really an amazing thing. And I can tell from the players' responses how they feed off of you guys, because it reflects how they get along with one another. So from your perspective, talk about how it's been, coaching with Coach Robinson this season.
Let me just say that means a lot. That really does. Things like that, statements like that mean a lot to me. I told him from day one, me and his dad made a really, really good team. And there cannot be enough said for when there's a comfort there, when you know who you're working with and your friends alongside, not just coaches together or working partners, So there's a comfort there. Majority of our philosophies are the same, and you're always going to differ on a couple things here and there. But we, as far as our basketball philosophy, majority of it, we both believe in the same thing. We both realize it's about the relationships. You build that first off the court, and the X's and O's will come later, and the wins and losses will take care of themselves. So, I think we make a good team, and I think that carries over. I think the players see that. I think the players feed off that, and I think that's a recipe for success.
You're definitely right about that, Coach. And so, Coach, we usually do our scouting report, and we have Coach Smith here with us. Talk about how it's been having him as your right-hand man. And like I told him, and like he said, it's not just a business partnership. You guys actually have a relationship, and that's something that really shows when you guys are not just on the court, but just even when the game is not even going on. So just talk about how it's been just reconnecting with Coach Smith and just having him as your assistant coach.
Well, like you said, the comfort zone is great, but you also want somebody that's going to challenge you, and he absolutely does that, and that just builds the trust even more to push outside that comfort zone. we established real early that he's defensive oriented. I'm a little more offensive oriented, but I had to rely on him a lot this year because first year one, we didn't get that spring and kind of got half a summer, so we had to rely on defense a little more than probably I would have liked. But you always have to rely on defense. Let me rephrase that. We were a little more defensive oriented, instead of being kind of 50-50. But we just got to build our offense. Coming back through the spring and the summer, and we kind of challenge each other off the court. He's a Duke guy, I'm a Carolina guy. He was in the Neshoba Central Rocket, I'm a Philly Tornado, who my dad plays this week. Tomorrow night, he plays the Philly Tornadoes, my alma mater. But, so kind of the offense, defense. We challenge each other, and, that's what pushes us to be great as well as pushing our kids to be great. But, like you said, it all starts with comfort and trust.
You're exactly right, Coach. And to be honest, and as you were saying earlier, your first season, you're going to go through your growing pains. And, despite the growing pains, I commend both of you guys. I think you guys had a great season. I don't really pay too much attention to records because your record doesn't do justice when you look at the type of team you guys have, when you look at the type of talent you guys have.
All right, and that's what I told the team, after the season. Just, a lot of people expected us to take a step back just because of what we lost, the coaching transition. But, we did the same thing, they did previously. The first round, even in a tougher district, the district got a lot tougher with Richland and Florence coming in. But, we still made that same little goal. Just next year is to build on it, keep going up.
Exactly, and from what I saw, this season, the talent that you had, and then the players you have coming back, I'm super excited about next season. To be honest with you, it's the players. You're actually going to have your first really real off season with the players, so that extra time to gel and build that extra relationship with the kids during the off season, and that's a very important time in the season. There's nothing like the off season, so I'm definitely excited about next season. Anyway, well, thanks so much, Coach Smith, and again, so glad you could finally join us on the show.
Appreciate it.
And thank you as well, Coach Robinson. So that brings us to the end of what is sadly our final broadcast of the NEJ Tiger Talk for the basketball season. But before we go, I'd like to extend a special thank you to the amazing staff at Walker's Dairy Bar for the amazing, delicious lunches. Every time we have our show, and for also welcoming our show. It's something they really don't have to do, but the fact that they do it to support Northeast Jones Athletics, it really means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the kids and the coaches. And thank you to our sponsors, Keys Automotive Services, Southeastern Baptist College, and Flicka's Tax Services. And also thank you to Coach Robinson and the Players of the Week. All the kids who've been Players of the Week, it's kind of a lot to name, but everybody who's been a Player of the Week, and all the work that they put in during the season, and for taking time out of their busy schedule to join me on NEJ Tiger Talk. It really means a lot. And thank you to our faithful listeners who have supported NEJ Tiger Talk broadcast throughout the season. And I thank God for blessing me to continue to be the voice of the NEJ Tigers for this basketball season. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to more opportunities in the future. So, one last time, I'm the voice of the Northeast Jones Tigers, Kensley Keys, signing off, and God bless. This broadcast is brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and fueled by the following.
Flicka's Tax Service. With tax season just around the corner, visit Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville, Mississippi, providing expert knowledge on all returns from 1040EZs to corporations as well as payroll. Flicka's Tax Service. Call 601-785-6900. Southeastern Baptist College, empowering students to reach their spiritual, academic, and athletic potential. Discover the difference at your hometown college. Southeastern Baptist College, equipping the saints.
Having AC issues? Does your vehicle no longer drive like new? Head on over to Keys Automotive in Laurel. Keys Automotive specializes in repairing foreign and domestic vehicles. Keys Automotive, located at 623 Arco Lane in Laurel, or call Charles Keys at 601-649-0517.